Hot off the press, I have the new Masters of Anatomy Book 9 Weapons and Poses. I'll let you know if this current edition matches up with the previous editions of the series, and we'll go over that in just a minute.
I ain't getting out of bed today. Keep waking up from the previous night.
Book 9 contains over 1,500 images of dynamic characters for you to study. Included in these character studies is a massive array of figure poses holding and using weapons such as sword, knives, axes, maces, staves, two-handed swords, two-handed axes, pistols, rifles and assault weapons, and bows and arrows. All in all, this clocks in at about 200 pages, so tons and tons of material to review here. Now my copy is a limited edition. The only thing you need to know is that they inverted each image and duplicated it on the opposite side of the page. As I crack this open, I'll be reviewing it from the standard edition standpoint since both versions contain the exact same images. Immediately we can see Masters of Anatomy followed a similar, although augmented formula compared to previous volume. We get a lot of different gestures here, but they're a lot tighter and a lot cleaner compared to some of the things we've seen before. As opposed to having a completely finished version for each pose, only some are chosen here. The gestures are so tight though that I don't think it really matters. I like that they included subtle details, such as shadows were appropriate, although admittedly that's going to depend on your light source. Still, if you're a beginner, and you're just doing a lift and shift of the pose into your own art, it gives you a good place to start by knowing where those shadows might fall. Now for obvious reasons, I couldn't show the whole book, but to make this video as valuable as I could, I came up with 3 different use cases on how you can use a book like this more effectively. For use case number 1, take out your phone and snap a picture. Take the picture, import it into your digital software of choice, bring it into a layer, and then lower the opacity so you could barely see it. We'll call this one the trace over, which is exactly as it implies. Now add another layer on top, grab your pencil of choice, and this new layer is what we're going to be working with. The objective here is not just to copy the picture. The objective here is to get used to the flow of the figure by having a reference with all the right proportions and everything that you can just go over and learn from. You'll want to experiment here, using your own figure construction style and just using the proportions as a guideline. Doing this repeatedly over and over, and eventually you'll be able to draw these figures from imagination with no problem. Start with the simple ones first and move over to the more complex ones as you get comfortable. Hey, do me a favor, if you find that this video helpful, subscribe, hit the bell button, drop a like, and drop a comment so you won't miss anything. For a more specific comparison, I've pulled out my Anatomy in Action book, which I also reviewed along with the other volumes, links down below for that. But this is what I'm saying, the difference in terms of the art style, even though it's the same artist. The gestures were much more rough, and the finished versions would generally be on the same page as the gesture. This made it somewhat easier to navigate to find the finished drawing, at the likely cost of having less room for more gestures. This is a good compromise in my opinion, although it potentially introduces a new problem. See this particular female pose with the hammer? I'd love to see either the finished version of that pose or her holding that weapon the same way but from different angles. Now obviously there are so many poses in this book, it's not hard to take a similar pose, for example a female holding a sword, as shown here, and then just stick a hammer there. You could call this a criticism, but more than likely, it's just nitpick. You know, using a book like this is advantageous as opposed to posing with yourself with different sharp objects and stuff like that. For example, I was trying to do this thing myself before I got this wonderful book. I wound up whacking myself in the face with a sword. It was awful. I'm still sort of chasing those blind light things in your eyes that you can't seem to ever catch. For this next one, we're going to use the gesture from another pose as reference to augment a figure that we're working on. For example, you like the overall vibe of this guy holding this shield and sword, but you want to change it up a little bit. In my case, I like the right arm on the furthest left figure and the way he's kind of clenching his fist up there. It also gives me a chance to practice some foreshortening, which maybe I'm not that great at. To illustrate this, I used 2 poses on the same page, but obviously you get the picture. If you needed a pose on another page, you would just open up the book or clip another picture with your phone. And you can see how this is fleshing out here. I now have the sort of camera angle I want, but I've got that left arm coming back a little bit, clenching his fist. This is a good way to expand your horizons a little bit, and an effective use of all the different poses in this book. Now one of the best ways to get better is to begin by drawing the characters you already know and love. This book is a perfect tool for that. For example, this pose right here would make a great Wolverine or a Daredevil. This pose looks like it would work for Deadpool. I could see Gambit from the X-Men launching into action here. I removed that sword and put a web there, and I can easily see Spider-Man swinging away. We've got multiple poses for Thor and Kate Bishop's Hawkeye. Finally, we round our heroines out with poses that would work really great for Black Widow. I've got 2 examples for this last use case. That's all about adding dynamism. In other words, we want to make the pose a little bit more dynamic than it may be drawn here. In this first example, I want to lean this guy back a little bit more, twisting his torso so his chest is coming more towards us. Since I'm leaning him back, that right arm is going to come up now. And since I'm torquing his body, that left arm is going to go a little bit back more. We're not going to see as much of it. While certainly not perfect, you get the idea what I'm trying to do. This leads into our second example, where I want to stretch this guy out just a little bit more, fleshing out those shoulders, but I want to bring that left arm up a little bit now. The basic idea I want to portray is the more and more you do this, the more you're not going to have to go look at another specific pose just to augment the ones that are already here. What is it? You can't get worse at something you do every day, or I don't know, whatever the hell it is. I suppose there's some truth to that. Either way, that's the great thing about digital art. Don't be afraid to experiment quite a bit and level your figure drawing skills up by putting in tons of practice. Hey, obviously you guys know I'm a big fan of Masters Anatomy. I've got all the volumes, I've reviewed them all on this channel. Hopefully you liked this video. If this helped you out at all, these books should be on your shelf if you're a traditional or digital artist, and you could check out those reviews I did of the previous ones right over here.